Prime Footwork Green Chiller.
Once again, who am I with here?
Prime Footwork Green Chiller. Y'all made the name Footwork.
Yes.
And mom and auntie made the name Brian. So,
Okay, this is something
this is
different.
this vessel. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is something different because we chilling out. This is after the workshop, and I figured this might be a good setting to chill out. We were like a bit of a time crunch, so we got a chance to sit down and chop it up with you. And I got a few questions for you. Origins. You were there during the early days of the New York club scene. What did the energy and environment feel like in those rooms when house dance was first developing?
Ooh, love. Lots of it. Lots of it. 86, 87, 88. A lot of love. A lot of tolerance. A lot of dancing. That's it. Because can remember the switch over when more hip hop came in, but lots of love. A lot of people don't realize, yes, people were into hip hop before that, but then these are the people that either started in house music or people from hip hop that realized hip hop was getting too wild and they realized it early before the hip hop clubs closed down. And so the mentality was just to calm down and it was just to relax and just to love music, just to dance. It's almost like the extension of what people thought Soul Train must have been. It's not saying it's a Soul Train influence, just the extension of just everybody party, having fun, have love, and that's it. So or you can y'all can say consider continuing in that disco club, aka hippie, free love extension of the late '60s all the way till then. It was just continuing that whole thing. Like, nah, we all the same. We all this. We all love each other, and that's what the early club scene felt like.
Okay. The code, foundation of house dance. You've spoken before about the code of house dance in your own words. What are the core principles that define real house dancing?
Ooh. The jack, aka how New York is considered jacking, and so people have to know the difference between jacking just meaning sex in Chicago, and most people in New York, at least in this age group, did not know that, and so a lot of us thought jacking just meant dance, talking about in the '80s, and so just coming up with the different body movements that focused on that, the footwork, that's one group. Then we have the people who were dancing in the clubs when it started and when the house music was there, aka abstract kids, people who did the travel skate, the stomp. Then you have people who did some of the stuff the gay kids were doing. Then you have people who were doing street jazz. Then you have some people that were doing some of the finger stuff that the white kids were doing that later was known as the Swami. You have all these groups. Then you have the fast footwork group and the fusion group. It's a lot of groups there. All that, knowing how to mesh all that up, it should be what is house dance. The mesh up of all that. It should be the person should be able to do all those little groups, at least a piece of all those groups, and put it into one freestyle. But what has happened is most people are just focusing on the footwork and a little bit of the body work, but because they don't really know much of those other groups that were just said, which is due to some people not telling the truth about it, and then also due to if some people do tell the truth about it, students don't support it because it's not famous yet. But people forget neither were the people you all know now were not famous at one time. So when someone famous tells y'all about someone not famous that was there at the same time, you'll have to support that.
Okay. Development of footwork. Your style became known for very fast musical footwork. How did your background in tap, African dance, club culture influence that development?
Shout outs to other fast footwork people. Story, Spanky, no specific order. Story, Spanky, Penelope, at that specific time, along with some of the smoothed out people who had some nice footwork. Johnny, Jay, David. Shout outs to that group right there, because all of us were an influence to each other. Story had this very tight Footwork. Story and I met at an interesting time because rest in peace to a guy named Sean who was like in this mind was a dance partner because they used to do routines in the club. And Story, it was weird. After we did a quick little at the Sound Factory, we did like a memorial to the brother in the circle. After we heard the person got shot or killed, or however Strong was killed, never really was into how it happened. But we all did a nice little memorial in a circle, like Story and Khalif and everybody was there. After that, Story and I kind of connected just through the dance. Um, and what was impressive was Story's tightness and footwork, and nobody in the club really knowing that Brian was a tap dancer before that. Uh, just respected the tightness as if it almost was like tap, because the fast footwork for Brian was more open because Brian was doubling and tripling the skate and doing that and going around, along with Spanky. So at that time, when Story came with the tighter footwork, it wasn't so much the speed, it was the fact it was tighter. And so what happens out in the clubs, people like to vibe with each other. So originally, Brian was dancing with Spanky, and then it switched over to Story because Spanky had stopped. Um, and then it was Story for a good minute, maybe a couple years. We would hang out and stuff like that, and then Penelope and different people started joining in. But the tap didn't make any difference. The only thing that tap made it easier, and said this on Facebook before. Tap dancers, we usually learn phrases from prominent people in tap. So it could be a Bojangles time step, it could be a Jimmy Slide phrase, it could be a Chuck Green phrase. That's how we learn. We pick up phrases or what they call take a step or steal a step and then throw it back your way. Now, in the later street dances of what we do today, that's considered biting, but it's not because you're taking it and then doing it your way. That's the end part is what's important. Taking it and doing it your way. So that's the mind state since for this mind because it started with African dances and tap dance, not street dance. So whenever Brian is watching people, Brian is taking what they can do and then flipping it. So Brian can do this for almost every dance that Brian has run into. If y'all dance with me at least once or twice, already picking up the way in which y'all approach a dance style, because it's been trained in his brain to look at dance like that as a kid. So tap in itself did not help, but the training of that did, being able to absorb movement. So that's not just tap, that's also ballet, that's also different African dances Brian has done, that's also jazz. Those all hone the eye to see physical movement and be able to copy it and then replay it back a different way. So when it comes to actual just footwork, it was just speeding up the feet. And that came from listening to a lot of jazz music on the train. And not jazz, what y'all might think like acid jazz. No, not no, it's real crazy jazz like John Coltrane's Jupiter, stuff like that. A real challenging music. And then over house music would put the footwork to that. Put what was heard in the jazz music or any type of music that was faster than house music and putting it to that 4/4 time when getting to the club. That was the first inspiration.
Okay. The club versus battle era.
Uh,
House dance started as a social dance in the clubs.
yes.
How do you feel about the way the dance has evolved into battles and competitions today?
Yeah. It feels like okay. At this point, it's a little disgusting because when are we gonna make money from it? Because some of y'all compare yourselves to basketball players and how y'all have to challenge each other's. Y'all have to, challenge each other because basketball players challenge each other and all that. That's fine. Basketball players go home with millions in the NBA, and they have royalty plans and all that. That's why Brian created Economic Wizards for Dancers. Like y'all can battle and get jobs off of battling and doing all that and teaching all that, but are y'all putting it back into each other? Like right now, we have to start thinking like that Because if everything's about one or two people winning a contest, that's not gonna make a bigger business and better business for us. The organizers gonna go home with a lot of money, but we have to start thinking bigger. Um, as far as a personal feeling, yeah, I think it's fine to test your skills out. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Exchanging is nothing wrong with it. But then y'all can battle so much, y'all forget the social aspect. Y'all forget to dance with people who just don't, who love to just vibe out to the music, and forget to share that feeling of music with people, which is a big problem. Not just hustling, getting in somebody's face and just feeling the music with them. That's so important. So important.
Well, we had an incredible workshop.
Thank you. Thank you.
Everybody enjoyed it.
Thank you.
You really surprised everybody with the tap, and I think it's not only did we have a sound from you, we had a visual, and I think we had a lot of people woke up, and I think a lot of people got freed today due to your workshop. Do you have a message for the next generation, for the new generation of house dancers around the world? What do you think they must understand about the culture to keep the dance authentic?
Love the music, love each other through the music. If y'all love the dance style or dance styles that are coming out of house music, because there's more than one, um, study them seriously, find out the histories of them, and then try to do business that helps yourselves in your future. Again, Economic Wisdom for Dancers on BrianFootworkGreen.com. Um, Always remember, house music does not mean house dance. House music, there's a lot of different forms of house music. So techno and ghetto tech and Chicago house and all that. A lot of things, a lot of dance styles have gone on, but when we're focusing on culture, we're focusing on how we connect, how we do a business together, how we move forward, not how I moves, how we. Always remember that. It's about us, not about one us.
Okay, cool. And I believe we gave you a beautiful shirt, Houseaholic shirt.
It's a personal opinion now.
I'm not gonna.
Are you asking me to get the shirt, sir?
Can we see it?
That's what. Oh,
Could we? This is a
are we
different kind of
promoting
setting.
yourself, sir? That's it.
We gotta do it
Okay. Should I have put it on?
because
Or,
no, you don't have to put it
I
on.
think so. I think
But
so.
look at that baby. Look at. And he's worried about whether
I think
we.
you should say alcoholic, not houseaholics.
He worried about whether I was gonna charge. He's like, I want to support the bit. Thank you, because he says, oh yeah, I want to
And
support.
on camera, ladies and gentlemen, before he goes.
No, I don't want him to give me any money. Cause see, if you guys see him exchange some money,
How much is this shirt?
the shirt's are 25 euro, but I don't want to charge Brian anything for the. We don't want to charge him for
This
it.
is a 20, and so
You can give a donation.
and then
You can give a donation. You don't have a 5, so you can give this as a donation.
They're still talking going over here. They're still talking. Okay, so
Look at this.
we are looking.
You guys are seeing this, right?
So just give. Excuse me. Give change. Thank you when you get change.
I'll give you a change, but I don't feel right. I feel like I'm being.
Then Phil left. It's the
I
fact
feel
that
like-
it's over me.
I'm trying to give him the shirt, and he's trying to support
But
Houseaholics.
y'all, look, Brian is not rich, but this is exactly what economics wisdom on Brian for Green is talking about. But made some money from the workshop, and so put money back into the culture. This is the culture. So even Brian still pays to go in the clubs, even though people say you can come in free. Why? Because then that money's supposed to go to the DJ. That money's supposed to go to somebody working in that. Just like most people who want to get in free to clubs, no, you're supposed to pay because somebody in the culture is getting paid. The more money that the people in the culture are getting paid who are trying to do the right thing, the more money helps them to make better events. That's how we support culture.
Well, we're gonna put the money to good use. We're gonna give it back to the community.
Donation is, don't give me back my change. How about that?
He's so savage, y'all. Houseaholics, this is born
Alcoholics.
with the one, with the one and only Brian Footwork Green, y'all.
Love, y'all. I
Thank
like
you very
this
much,
shirt.
brother.
The quality shirt is so dope. I like this shirt.
Thank you.
Definite.
Appreciate
Love,
it.
man. Definite. You keep the change. So.
Yeah.